Morning, everyone. We've still got some joining us, but we'll kick off because we've got a jam-packed agenda. Welcome to what I think is the 30th weekly IAB webinar. We had a little bit of a different flow of events last week. So we had our big Measure Up conference, which went over 3 mornings, but we're back to our 11 a.m. on Wednesday spot. So hopefully some of you have joined us for other webinars. If not, all the content is up on the IAB website under recent events. So we'll keep doing these, I think, to the end of the year, and then we'll look at what we do next year. But it's been a delight to be able to bring such a range of content to the market. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gay Leroy, and I'm incredibly lucky enough to be the CEO of the IAB. We've got a great lineup today. So we have a wonderful working group within the IAB that's been operating, I think, for about 3 or 4 years now, the affiliate working group. And they've pulled together content for you today, looking at the affiliate and partnerships industry, and lots of great content. We have got a tight agenda, but please feel free to send through questions through the Q&A box, and we'll get through to as many as we can. Also, if you feel like just sending a cheerio to anyone, the chat box is there to say hi and get involved. During the session, we will be sharing links to resources that are referenced. So you can sort of go and visit those either afterwards, after you listen to all the great content, but we will be sharing those. And the recording of this will be made available early next week. So we'll send you a link post-event to make sure that you're got access to that, or if you want to share it or watch it again. So the lineup for today, we have a huge cast of industry experts. And the way it's going to operate, I'm going to hand over shortly to Dave Glasgow, who's Director at Navigate Digital and also the chair of the affiliate working group. He's going to be joined by Sam Morton from Impact, and they're going to give a little bit of context on the industry, what the IAB working group is up to and planning to get up to, and how you guys can have input and get involved and let us know what you need to know more about in this industry. And then we're going to have 2 panels coming from both sides of the spectrum. The first panel, we're going to be chatting to advertisers who are embracing affiliate and partnership marketing and understanding what it's doing for their brands. Unavoidably, we can't get away without chatting about the challenges that 2020 has thrown us, but I guess also the particularly important the lessons that we've learned over the last 6 months or so. So Stuart McLennan from Rakuten Advertising will be driving that session, and then we'll have a second panel that's on the flip side, and it's looking at the publisher side and the revenue opportunities that are there in terms of getting involved in this industry. And Sophie Metcalfe from Awin's going to drive that panel later on. So jam-packed. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dave, who will give you a bit of a rundown on what the working group's up to.
Thanks, Kate. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. So I just wanted to start by giving you a bit of information about the affiliate working group and the projects that we've been focusing on. So currently this group is made up of 5 different representatives from affiliate and partnership marketing companies that are heavily involved in Australia. These are Rakuten Advertising, which is a global network that brings together performance marketing, media and consumer insights for advertisers, agencies and publisher partners. We have Commission Factory, a homegrown Australian performance marketing network with a focus on Asia Pacific. They were founded in 2011 and are a part of the Awin group. So Awin Global, which is part of the Axel Springer and United Internet groups, with ShareASale and Commission Factory, have 15 offices and over 1,000 employees worldwide. We have Impact, which is a SaaS platform that automates the entire partnership lifecycle. It was founded in 2008 and has 13 offices across the globe. And finally, Navigate Digital. So we are an affiliate and partnership marketing management agency, and we have offices in the UK and Australia. So I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight some of the work that we've pushed out this year. First and foremost, the Australian Affiliate Handbook This is a fantastic resource for anyone interested in or indeed involved in affiliate and partnership marketing. Sam will talk about this in a bit more detail shortly, but the latest version was released in May, and it's available to download on the IAB website. We've also released at the beginning of the year an Australian industry review, which was off the back of a survey. This provides great insights into the numbers behind the affiliate channel, and is also available through the IAB. And finally, before passing over to Sam, I wanted to announce the launch of the 2020 IAB affiliate survey. So we'll be distributing links to this survey, I believe now and also shortly. And I'm essentially here to ask you all to get involved and to contribute. The survey only takes a few minutes, and it's really the best way for us to gather insights into our industry and share that research with you. Now, not only that, but for every response, we'll be donating $5 to Unlimited. Unlimited is a media and advertising foundation that helps at-risk children and young people. So yeah, please get involved. I'll pass things over to Sam now. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Sorry. Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Sam Morton, Account Director at Impact. And today I'm going to talk through some of the trends that we're seeing within the affiliate and partnerships channel. Some of those challenges we're faced with in 2020 and what to expect for 2021. So what does affiliate and partner marketing look like in 2020? So if you just want to move on. Okay, thank you. A recent big commerce study estimates that affiliate marketing spend in the US will top $6.8 billion by 2020, with 81% of US brands leveraging the affiliate channel as part of their marketing strategy. Now, if we compare this to data that we have available on the Australian market, Awin's 2019 report, a global affiliate study, states that 70% of Australia's top 100 retailers own and operate an affiliate program. Now, if we compare that to the same study from 2018, that number was just 50%. And so with almost 30% increase during that period, the channel's seen tremendous growth over the past few years. And we do anticipate this number to continue to grow, to be more aligned with the US towards the end of 2021. So if we look more closely at the past 9 months, affiliates and partners have been fairly resilient to the impact of COVID. In a recent study conducted by Rakuten earlier this year on the impact of COVID to affiliate partners as the pandemic hit, saw some really positive signs for affiliate, and 50% of respondents to that survey outlined that it was business as usual. 14% of those respondents also outlined that they saw rising traffic volumes during the beginning of that pandemic. Additionally, a recent interview between Commission Factory and Unidays, who are a student community partner, Unidays described some really positive signs in their business, with a 23% increase in beauty spending and also a 20% growth in health and fitness. And there's going to be some really interesting insights from the panelists who are going to follow this conversation. So moving on to the Australian Affiliate Handbook, and going into a bit more detail around that. So we launched a revised edition of the IAB Affiliate Handbook earlier this year. And the previous edition was released around about 2016. And the goal of this was to create a comprehensive guide to the channel for marketers of all levels, with information to help navigate the channel and bring the industry up to speed to what we're seeing in 2020. And within that handbook, we talk through key players and partner types, advancements in technology, partner strategies and best practice, data and privacy, and future opportunities. What's really interesting is there are a number of new topics and an evolution through the handbook, which really stood out. So first of all, we saw a much more diverse range of affiliate and partner types. And affiliate and social, influencer and social took a much more prominent place in this year's handbook, with rising levels across the board. And as an industry, we're seeing the influencer channel being adopted by both advertisers and partners to help grow their audience base. Content partners, more specifically content commerce, also saw a rise within the affiliate channel, as we saw a greater number of premium publishers looking to monetize content as they enter into the channel. Brand-to-brand partnerships was an entirely new category, whereby two brands are collaborating to bring value to their audiences and increase loyalty. And this is a really interesting approach for brands, especially if demand is down in their vertical. Technology, we also saw additional inclusions around SaaS platforms such as Impact. And we described how technology is adapting to some of those changing tracking landscapes. We covered off things like attribution strategies and how advertisers are taking a more data-driven approach. And finally, data regulations and challenges was obviously a really key front and center point of this handbook, an entirely new chapter, and very well informed. Data regulations, the challenges which come with these changes in data and regulations allowed us to outline, what do the removal of third-party cookies mean to the affiliate industry, but also how are the networks and SaaS providers protecting brands and partners against these changes. And so I'd really encourage you all to take some time to review that handbook, regardless of your life stage within the affiliate and partnerships channel. And so just to close this out, to look at what to expect in 2021. So look, 2021 is actually a really landmark year for affiliate marketing in Australia. In 2001, the first affiliate network launched in Australia. So as we enter into the 20th year of affiliate marketing in Australia, it's a really exciting time for us. And look, I think we'll start to see a continued growth in the channel as uncertainty continues. Marketers are under increasing pressures to be more accountable with their marketing budgets, and so that pay-for-performance model that that advertisers enjoy within the affiliate channel allows them to optimize to that fixed ROI. I think digital transformation will create a new type of opportunity, and a big shift that we've started seeing over the last few months is that brands are looking to accelerate their digital and e-commerce offerings, specifically from that shift from bricks and mortar to a direct-to-consumer marketing strategy. And these digital transformations that we're hearing in the market are 1 to 3 year rollouts. And so having the ability to plug in channels which can increase that demand is a welcomed addition to any business. We'll continue to see those lines blur around what defines an affiliate partner. And as partner types continue to diversify, and we perhaps see more of those premium publishers look to the affiliate and partnerships channel as additional revenue streams, we're also starting to see some really interesting native integrations whereby affiliate placements are sitting very centrally and natively in that consumer and shopping experience. Over the past couple of years, we've seen rises in specialist affiliate agencies such as Navigate Digital. And as programs continue to mature and grow, the requirement for more sophisticated hands-on approach will become more and more key. And then, we will see technology continue to adapt specifically to the changing landscape in tracking. Brands are looking for increased transparency, and technology will continue to improve and evolve out of necessity. And that's everything that I have for today. We're now going to move into some of the panels.
Great, thank you, Sam. Hello, everyone. I'm Stuart McLennan from Rakuten Advertising. I have the pleasure of moderating the client panel, and we've got three fantastic people and brands to talk you through the lessons learned in 2020. So I'll quickly ask each of them to introduce themselves. So Michelle, if you'd like to go first. You're on mute, Michelle, unfortunately.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle, and I'm the affiliate account manager for our 2 online travel insurance brands here in Australia, Insure and Go and Tick.
Great, thank you very much. And John, would you like to go next?
Hi guys, I'm John Matthews, the Director of Media and Partnerships at Streamotion. For those of you that aren't aware, Streamotion is the overarching company that looks after the 2 OTT streaming platforms in Australia of KO Sports and most recently Binge.
Brilliant. And last but not least, Josh.
Hi guys, I'm Josh. I work for the Cotton On Group within our paid acquisition team and specialise within our partnerships and affiliate marketing.
Excellent, thank you all. And you'll see today they all face very different challenges and subsequent opportunities during the last 12 months. So starting with you, Josh, can you share a top-line summary of your business performance in 2020 and how you've had to adapt?
No worries. Well, 2020, I think for everybody has been all around adapting. Like most businesses this year, we faced a lot of uncertainty. So what we did is we came together really quickly to pivot, to work out kind of where we were and where we were sort of going throughout this period. We wanted to make sure that we were doing the right thing by everybody involved, our customer included, and really making it simple as well and taking it back to basics while still striving to win. As I guess, luckily for us, we had a very healthy online presence anyway in over 15 countries. So we were able to really lean in on our online distribution once our bricks and mortar had started to sort of pause trade to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. We were able to really sort of keep our costs low by sort of really focusing in on that kind of direct to customer consumer and making sure that we were really constantly talking to our customer at any given day. We wanted to make sure that they were kind of always at the forefront of what we were doing, and we wanted to make sure we could do whatever it took to ensure that we come out of this period on top.
And I guess without sharing too many details, Josh, in terms of the performance, has it been a good year? Has it been a bad year?
It's been, in all honesty, it's been an incredible year. We had metrics set for the full financial year pre-COVID. Luckily for us, we were still able to exceed everything, and we were up nearly triple digits year on year, which is great to see.
Brilliant. Excellent. And then Michelle, over to you, working in kind of the travel insurance sector, maybe a bit of a contrast.
Yes, it is. Look, we had very ambitious plans for branding for 2020. In January this year, we were sponsoring Rafael Nadal during the Australian Open. And little did we know at that time that 3 months later, we would cease selling travel insurance for majority of 2020. So we had no control over travel restrictions, but we needed to find a way to generate revenue and to continue communicating to our database. Our database had become accustomed to hearing from us on a monthly basis, and we typically would send tactical offers or travel-related content. Understandably, this was no longer suitable, especially around March. So we came up with our Escapes Rewards program, and it's essentially an email that contains a small number of valuable offers, which are going to be relevant to our audience. And we essentially became a publisher overnight, and it's been really well received. And thanks to the affiliate networks, we were able to switch this on really quickly.
Brilliant. I'm sure lots of people would like to hear a bit more about that in kind of a follow-up question later. But John, over to you and kind of Streamotion in 2020.
Yeah, so it's obviously been a pretty varied year for us, a real roller coaster, and I could probably partition it into three main areas. So, I mean, obviously we've got the 2 brands. So we've got KO, which is predominantly based around live sports. And then in May this year, we launched Binge, which is our entertainment streaming product. So everything in the run up to March was all about planning. It was planning for the launch of Binge, and it was also planning around our busiest time of the year, which is obviously the launch of winter codes in Australia and the AFL and NRL. Within the space of 2 weeks, we lost, from a KO perspective, the vast majority of all of our content. And that had a significant impact on that business. Within 6 weeks, we lost over a third of our total paying subscriber base. So we went from just over 400,000 subscribers in early March down to 270 in mid-May. What that did allow us to do, though, was really focus on the launch of Binge. So we kind of had a 6-week to 2-month process where the primary focus of the business was just concentrating on launching Binge and making that as successful as possible. And then, so we launched Binge on May the 25th, and 4 days afterwards, Sport started coming back. So it's just been an insanely busy time from kind of late May through to now. You know, Binge has launched really successfully. We're ahead of where we would have hoped. And with live sport coming back in May, late May and June, it was kind of almost the perfect storm for us. People were still in lockdown. People weren't able to attend sporting events. So there was a huge amount of pent up demand for KO, and we're now well above 600,000 paying subscribers on the platform. So we kind of added 50% of our total base in the space of 2.5 months. So as I say, a real roller coaster for us here.
Brilliant. And sticking with you, John, and probably quite a tricky question given COVID, no one could have predicted, but kind of 2020, what were you ready for and what's happened? And then kind of the surprises that have kind of happened, how did you need to react to that?
So yeah, so that, and look, to your point, I don't think anyone coming into you know, January of this year could have predicted the way that COVID was going to roll out globally. But the way that I think, you know, were we ready? I think if you look at there's organisational readiness, and I think as a business we're very agile. We've spent 2 years, just under 2 years, working in the sporting space where, you know, fixtures come and go. You know, there's always new stories coming in. So as a business, we're always very reactive to whatever's going on from a broader market perspective. You know, so when COVID did happen, we had to pull all of our marketing out of market very, very quickly. That was probably even more important for the KO brand because our tagline was "Nowhere is safe from sport," and no one really wants a nowhere is safe message in market during a global pandemic. But then we had to work with our partners as well, and we had to move everything off their channels. Having said that, there were a couple of key partners where we really had to respond to their needs, and that was the AFL and NRL. They had really significant membership bases that had paid for, you know, a full season of sport, and then everyone was in lockdown, they weren't able to do it. So we spun up some value add offers for those codes specifically that we were kind of initially came up with, ideated, executed, and got into market in under 5 days. So really talks to the agility that we have within the business. And then again, when sport came back, we had, normally for winter codes, we would be planning that for 2, 3, 4 months. It's such a significant time for us. We had under 2 weeks from the moment the NRL said that they were coming back to sport coming back. So it was just yeah, were we ready for the overarching, you know, the COVID per se? Probably not, but in terms of the organisational readiness, I think we absolutely were.
Right. So obviously the agility of your business certainly helped through what's happened with COVID. And Josh, next question for you. You know, as one of Australia's biggest and most well-known brands, I'm sure everyone will be interested to know, you know, how has your channel mix changed as a result of, you know, what's happened in 2020?
Definitely. Well, I guess year on year, our channel mix constantly evolves. We have a very wide demographic between 7 to 10 brands on any of our sites at any given time. So although consistent and healthy every year, affiliate marketing has definitely held flat year on year, as well as our paid search, also paid acquisition in general. So I guess taking it back to affiliates for a second, holding flat and really kind of knowing that has been a great channel for us over the last probably 3 to 5 years. Last year alone, it had an 85% growth, and we've seen pretty much the same the last 2 years in a row. So we've been able to really sort of identify that channel for us is definitely a key player, as well as paid acquisition. So one of our strategies going into this year was all around paid acquisition and really sort of, I guess, taking our customer on a bit of a different journey. And I guess there is a bit of a silver lining that it has worked a little bit in our favor. I'm well aware, and we're very respectful that it hasn't for a lot of brands or a lot of businesses in general. But I guess definitely being in fast fashion, we have been able to really sort of adapt. And the way that we've managed to do that is kind of just making sure that we stayed present in the market and knowing where our customer was at any given time and making sure that we were there to serve and give them exactly sort of what they wanted. I guess once we started sort of pausing trade in a lot of our stores throughout different states and different countries around the world, we were able to really sort of introduce a traditional bricks and mortar customer to the online and digital space. They weren't as familiar previously, so we definitely did acquire a lot of new customers. But I guess the silver lining here as well is that we've probably been able to actually retain a lot of those customers now that stores have started to reopen in selected countries. So it's definitely been a really, I guess, a pivotal year in the fact that, yes, our channel mix has drastically changed, but it's also become more heightened and more healthy throughout the last probably 6 to 7 months.
Great. Thanks, Josh. And just a quick build on that. Have you noticed the difference in consumer behaviour with those kind of new to online versus your, I guess your heritage online customers?
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely different consumer behaviour. I guess what we sort of, I guess out there a lot at the moment, there's a lot of buy now, pay later. There's a lot of these new sort of, I guess, payment methods. And what we did sort of notice is that a lot of those, I guess, traditional bricks and mortar customers, one of the biggest things that we were able to really do is introduce them to kind of a whole new world at the same time. We noticed that our Visa and our MasterCard and our PayPal sales went straight up, but over probably the course of, a 3 to 6 week period of really sort of talking and engaging with that customer, they've also started shopping different behaviors now as well. So it's been great to, I guess, kind of introduce a whole new field to a whole new sort of audience that may have never really sort of stumbled across this before, but it's definitely worked in our favour as well as our customer favour.
Brilliant. Thanks, Josh. Michelle, tricky year for you guys. How have you had to adapt your short versus long-term tactics and strategies?
Yeah. So when focusing on our short-term tactics, prior to COVID, we were very focused on our sales targets as well as our publisher KPIs. And essentially, we utilised discounting and price point messaging to help achieve these. Now that we are post-COVID-19, we are about to relaunch our domestic product, which is really exciting for us. But we are mindful that customers are going to care more about product than price. So messaging needs to support this change in customer need. So we are going to focus on, product information, just to empower and educate our customers. And we will likely utilise content publishers more so than ever to facilitate this. And we are mindful that we'll probably need to introduce influencer attribution metrics to really motivate these guys. Rather than focusing on final click attribution. When focusing on long-term tactics, like I mentioned before, we really wanted to focus on branding. Post-COVID-19, this is still the same. It's probably more important than ever. However, the channel is going to change. So prior to this event, we were willing to invest quite a lot in sponsorship and above the line advertising. Now we have to tighten the budgets a little bit. So we're just going to go back to focusing on performance marketing, specifically partnership and affiliate marketing as well, so we can track ROI every step of the way.
Great, Michelle, thank you for that. Obviously conscious of time, and we've still got another panel to go. So the final question to all of you, starting with you, John, please. What new strategy tactics have you introduced this year that you plan to extend into next year, where hopefully we're a little bit less stressful?
So one of the things that we've done this year, and I think launching Binge has enabled us to do it, is we've predominantly partnerships we've always looked at as a sales-based channel, and looking at it as the ability to drive new customers onto the platform. With Binge, and with the fact that it was an entertainment product, probably a broader appeal than KO specifically. And we had where there was a certain demographic that we were going after. Because we were launching a brand, we looked at a different way of approaching partnerships. And one of the ideas that we came up with, or let's say we came up with, it was actually our agency Think About. I'm not going to claim responsibility for that. But we were very much looking at targeting a younger female audience. We knew that was the way it was going to skew. So we were looking at ways where these customers were likely to be. And obviously with e-commerce, seeing a huge increase, and obviously fashion as well. So, you know, to Josh's point, they saw saw great growth this year. But we basically did a brand-to-brand collaboration with The Iconic, and we launched a range of inactive wear, which was basically clothing that was perfect to be sitting at home and watching great content with. So, as I say, historically as a business, and I think many businesses do this as well, is like, you know, they really focus on affiliate and partnerships as a sales-based channel. But I think with brand-to-brand marketing or brand-to-brand partnerships, there really is ways that you can look at other value propositions that fall just outside of delivering new subscribers for you. So that's definitely something that we're going to be looking at more for both brands moving forwards.
Brilliant, thank you, John. Same question to you, Josh.
I guess for us, it was a little bit different. We actually we didn't really introduce a whole lot of new strategies and tactics this year. What we really did is, being a global business who, you know, we're always agile and we're always sort of, I guess, running on our tippy toes, we kind of really wanted to go back to basics and really instill a very seamless customer experience for basically anybody involved in Cotton On, whether it's internal, external, our partnerships, affiliate marketing, any channel, and just bring everything back to basics while still kind of, I guess, inspiring, caring, you know, really sort of talking to that customer. One of our biggest objectives is to always make a positive difference in the world. So what we're wanting to really sort of do and focus on going forward is customer satisfaction will always be at the forefront of anything that we touch. The way that we sort of look at it is Cotton On also stands for customer obsessed. So basically we're wanting to really take our Aussie lifestyle heritage and take it to the world while delivering good along the way. So yes, there has definitely been some new, I guess, approaches, tactics. We've had to pivot at different times, but what we really identified was that, you know, approaching 30 in January, as we will be, we wanted to bring everything back and just make it as simple as what we could, while basically delivering fun, like having fun along the way, but delivering really that great customer experience, which is what we're kind of known for.
Great that you managed to have some fun in 2020. Hopefully, you know, a majority of people can say that after a tricky year. Michelle, over to you.
Yeah, so I guess our Escape Rewards program is definitely here to stay. Not only do our audience really enjoy receiving the offers, but it's become a really intangible tool when it comes to business development discussions when we're scouting new publishers to promote our travel insurance brands. It's one thing to tell a potential publisher, hey, we've got this great brand and here are our success stories, but to also communicate that we do have this opportunity to potentially promote your brand or drive a lead, whatever that may be. That cross-promotional strategy definitely makes the conversation a lot more interesting and can help us get across the line. Yeah.
And would you have any tips for anyone kind of thinking of setting up kind of their own, you know, publisher kind of piece, rather than, excuse me, an advertiser who's maybe thinking about monetizing their content, their audiences in a different way?
Yeah, I would say definitely test the waters, see how your audience are going to respond to this. And then if successful, definitely make sure that your offers are varied and are relevant to your demographics. And don't just assume. You constantly have to survey them, make sure you're giving them what they want. And in terms of if you're managing quite a large advertiser campaign, you're probably going to need another hat in the area to manage the publisher side of things if if it does grow quite ambitiously. So yeah, they're the main tips from me.
All right, fantastic. I think we're pretty much out of time, but just to kind of summarize, I guess, you know, all three have mentioned agility. And hopefully those of you kind of listening in have also replicated that and been able to adapt your business strategy through a very trying 2020. There's lots of new customers coming online, and Josh talked about how they've adapted and they've noticed new behaviors and trying to take advantage of that. So I encourage you all to kind of dig into your kind of new customer analytics and understand kind of what are they doing that might be different to kind of the previous models you're working with. And, you know, very interesting, you know, advertisers becoming publishers. Is this a trend we may see through 2021? Hopefully some of you are starting to think about how you can monetize those audiences. So yeah, we pretty much stuck on time. So thank you, John, Michelle, and Josh for keeping everything concise and for all of your valuable input. Over to Sophie for the publisher panel. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Stuart. I'm Sophie from Awin Global and Commission Factory, and I'm really excited to be hosting the publisher side of things today. We have some excellent and experienced panelists who I'm sure have some fantastic insights across our topic. We are a man down, unfortunately. Immanuel's had to attend to an urgent issue. So we are a cosy but no less insightful panel, and it just gives us a little bit more time to chat. So joining us are Julie Willing, who's the creative lead at Buzzfeed, Australia, Tom Howard, head of sales at global cashback site Shopback. And I'm going to just pass over to the guys to introduce themselves a little bit more and to give a little bit of info about their businesses. So,
yeah, I'll start. Hi, everyone. I'm Jules. So I've been in Australian publishing for over a decade now. And in my current role, as Sophie said, I'm at Buzzfeed Australia, obviously the local arm of what is a massive and very loved, I would say, digital company. And I look after the editorial, branded and affiliate writers here.
And Tom?
Hey guys, I'm Tom and I am the head of sales for Shopback. So for anyone that doesn't know who Shopback are, we are the largest loyalty platform in APAC, operating across 9 countries and just over 20 million users.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And so I think we'll dive straight into some questions. So we've obviously heard some similarities, I guess, between the panelists for the advertiser side of things. So be interesting to see if it's replicated publisher side. So with overall advertising spend 2019 versus 2020, sort of spend being down across the board, how has the mix of different revenue streams changed for you this year, and what role has affiliate and partnerships played in that? And if I can put that to Julia first.
Yeah, of course. So look, I mean, Buzzfeed, we are a digital first company. We've always believed and been prepared for digital usage to grow over time. But of course, what we've realized as part of the pandemic is that escalated the growth of digital so much faster than even we had anticipated. Fortunately, the side effect of that is that Buzzfeed made a decision in the back end of 2019 to launch affiliate teams locally, so in all of their offices around the globe, including Australia. And what that meant for us locally was that when the challenges of 2020 hit, we were already set up to go hard after affiliate revenue, which we had seen huge growth with in the US, where we'd started with, and we knew that it was an untapped resource in Australia. And with the pandemic bringing about online shopping with, you know, such staggering growth, we already had the team here, we had the content pillars to go after, and so we were able to really tap into that quite quickly. And so, yes, to your point, you know, advertising revenue has certainly been down across the board. There's no lying about that. But strangely, for us, this has been a time when we've been able to really exponentially grow the affiliate program, you know, including more retailers, generating more sales for our clients, because we know that people have been looking to the internet for almost all of their purchasing.
So you've really leaned into the channel, actually. And I guess, yeah, as you say, kind of expedited it.
Absolutely.
And championed it internally. Awesome. And over to you, Tom. Appreciate, obviously, all of your revenue comes from affiliate and partnerships, so possibly slightly different take in the sector-based, and has the sector mix sort of changed for you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, look, we sit as part of brand's marketing mix. I think affiliate sits as like a portion. So maybe if I just give you sort of like a view from my lens or our lens, like what we've seen over the last year is actually a lot more brands than ever before actually getting involved in affiliate, and more precisely like on Shopback. I think this year alone, we've had 1,000 new retail brands join the platform, which is showing like a huge amount of demand for it. And I think like when speaking to these guys, when they're coming on, I think Sam talked about it earlier, but brands are looking for other ways to drive revenue, traffic, new customers in more efficient ways. And I think affiliate is one of those options that really leans into all of those. And then with the brands that we do have, the last 10 months has probably been some of the biggest in terms of investment and those brands leaning into Shopback. And creating some really cool campaigns, really capitalizing on all of these new online shoppers that are sort of coming and flooding into the market. So yeah, for us, we are only that one part of the mix, but we've seen that part of the affiliate channel grow massively.
Those new advertisers as well to Shopback, are you seeing more enterprise or SME or sort of mid-tier? Where would you say they kind of sit?
I mean, like, if you're looking at 1,000, obviously the majority are probably going to be your smaller brands. But there's been a good mix, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And there isn't really a rhyme or reason to any of the categories either. It's not like they're all flooding in through fashion or beauty.
Sure.
It seems to be pretty across everything. Okay.
Thank you. And just our next question, just to both of you, and to Julia first, if that's okay. Have you seen a change in the mix of advertisers you've been approached by or that you found success with? And has any of that been sort of surprising for you?
I think the most surprising thing for us has been, it's not necessarily a vastly different mix of advertisers, but it's certainly been like a pivot in the way that they advertise. So for example, one of our biggest partners in 2020 has actually been a tourism board. And naturally travel has declined certainly, but what we just changed our content strategy to was playing in the space of obviously sparking interest, giving joyful distractions, planning for a post-lockdown world. And as Michelle has said, obviously domestic travel is opening up more and more. So that's a space, getting people reconsidering the vast majority of options that they have, fortunate, at their shores. Another example would be entertainment. We all know that there's been a decline in movie releases, but we've also seen an increase in activity across streaming devices. And beyond that, we've definitely all seen everybody embracing the art of home cooking again. So our food pillar and one of our most well-known, Tasty, has had a huge additional boost in engagement. And this has come with a real burst of a mix in advertisers of like non-food, so QSR and retail, and then the obvious CPG, FMCG players. Because as we would all know on this call, we all went through the whipped Dalgona coffee stage, baking banana bread. And if instinctively Australians, are in their homes playing in that space, we know that advertisers are also going to want to be a part of that movement. And that's exactly what we saw.
Probably different levels of success on the cooking front, I'd imagine.
Yes, absolutely.
And Tom, just a slightly different angle for you, because I guess you kind of, you've spoken to this question a little bit in your previous answer, but have you seen a change in the mix of user segments using the Shopback platform, and what's sort of surprised you the most about that behaviour?
Maybe not so much with the segments, but in terms of category, like we've seen a huge, so from let's just take lockdown, when it first started, we saw toilet roll and pantry and groceries just go absolutely ballistic. But then we've gone through like these crazy little cycles. So we've gone from that, then you've gone from the home office sort of stuff, everyone kidding out for the home office. Then we've gone through various different ones, whether it's like activewear, loungewear, everyone was buying from like Lululemon, Lorna and everyone was stocking up. And then more recently, we've seen like a huge boom in beauty. So from our side, it's been pretty awesome to watch like what a pandemic does to like what and when people buy things. But us as a business, in terms of like our marketing mix and channels, like just to give you some context, this time last year, we ran a huge out-of-house campaign. We wrapped up Martin Place train station, absolutely everywhere was Shopback. And I think what we've had to do as a business is pivot, and we've got like a world-class marketing team that's done that. And we've leaned heavily into socials, influencer marketing, which we've already always done, but really trying to reach people where they are at the moment. And it has changed a lot, like over the last 10 months. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. So the next question to Julia, as you've integrated sort of affiliate and partner marketing into your sites, how do you ensure that you maintain a good user experience and sort of maintain the integrity of your content whilst doing so?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Buzzfeed, just to take a step back, we're a publisher, I would say, that we have absolutely been built off the back of the trust that we actually have that audience. And that's a trust that we've been building for over a decade now. So we have really genuinely a two-way relationship with our audience. We have a Buzzfeed community where people can comment and speak to us. So of course, what that means when it comes to affiliate writing is that we have a really intimate and local and very immediate understanding of what our audience is interested in, what they're not interested in, so that when we are creating content, when we're writing about content or thinking about what products to recommend, we need to lean on those learnings, the content learnings from our editorial over the last 10 years to know exactly what is going to be valuable to our readers to click through and purchase. So on a user level, our affiliate content, as a very basic point, looks and reads and feels exactly like the editorial content that our audience knows and love. What Buzzfeed you'll probably know already is that we do a lot of identity content. So we had a shopping post this year that was 23 purchases only sweaty gals will appreciate. And so that could just be an editorial post about, the sweaty gal identity. But that was a big seller for us because it was playing in a space that our audience is familiar with. It was written in a way that they're used to, that they would tag their friends in. We had girls tagging their mates and being like, oh my God, you will need this in your life, because they were recommending to their friends based on that identity. So for us, that's always how we will create content, how we will lead with our affiliate content is what use is this, what identity does this play in, what purpose is behind this other than just selling items. So for us as well, the shopping section of the site, buzzfeed.com, is very user-friendly. Very user-friendly. You can sort it by category, so beauty, hot deals, fashion, etc., so that it's much easier for prospective spenders to actually find the recommendations that they're after. For us, I would say our ultimate goal with every piece of content is actually to get across the message that we know that the internet can feel like a really overwhelming place to shop. So Buzzfeed is actually here as your recognized and your trusted resource for product discovery and recommendation.
Brilliant, thank you, Julia. And just moving on to the next question. So from the changes everybody's experienced, of which there are obviously many, so revenue mix, advertiser verticals, promotion types from advertisers, what do you think will be retained? What's going to stick into 2021? And if I can put that to Tom.
I mean, I'm pretty biased on this one. So I think from the affiliate channel, I think we've seen crazy, so Shopback's been around for 2 years, or 2.5 years in Australia, and we've seen crazy growth every single year. So we're up to over 1 million users at the moment. And I think one of the things that we'll continue to see through probably at least next year, for the next few years after that, is the growth of the affiliate channel. I read the other day on the Moz Post report that there's been 1 million new households that shopped online for the first time ever since March, which has accelerated the online industry a huge amount. And I think when you take that and what COVID has obviously accelerated all of that, but then also the investment that certain publishers in this affiliate space are doing to really educate Australians on how their platforms can help them. I think if you look, we're obviously spending a lot of money to try and acquire customers and grow a really huge platform. There's others in the market like Honey also doing the same. So I think the more that we grow as a channel, it will also amplify the size of affiliates. So I think brands that may not be operating in this space at the moment will definitely start to have those conversations and actually want to understand more around it. And then the ones that are operating it, I think, will just ramp up everything.
Makes total sense. I think Immanuel's joined us. So I don't know, Immanuel, if you're able to answer and speak to that question. So just to repeat that. So of the sort of many changes there's been this year, what do you think from your perspective, working in the luxury sort of travel hack space, what do you think is going to be retained of those changes into 2021? Maybe you can speak from a slightly higher end and a luxury perspective.
Yes, I mean, this year has been crazy. It's been difficult for our niche because obviously there's no travel. It's slowly picking up again. We're sort of seeing domestic travel, and people obviously are craving to get out there and do something. So we're focusing more on local content, partnering with Australian brands, etc., to provide that, and also just venturing into other things other than travel. So not just sticking to one niche, but going into other deals that might be of interest to people. So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year. And I think 2021 it's definitely going to be the year where we have to diversify even more, just to make sure that we don't double down on just one niche, which is the luxury travel industry, but also try to cater to other deals and things around that. So
I know you also focus a little bit on finance. Do you feel like that's kind of helped a little bit from a diversification point of view?
Yeah, well, interestingly, when everything sort of hit the fan, so to speak,
it's a polite way of putting it, but yeah.
a lot of people, obviously, the last thing on their mind was, should I be collecting freaking flyer points or stuff like that? So that definitely dipped off. It's coming back now because obviously people, if you look at it in the long term, obviously travel is going to return, and we will all gonna get out there, and everyone's saving up for that. I think once the borders open and we can all sort of freely move again, there's going to be a huge increase in demand for travel, and those finance products definitely help with that to achieve those goals. And people are also shopping around still. So yeah, I think everyone sort of realized that the end of the world is not happening yet, so life still goes on. So we can still shop around for new finance products and see what's in the market, other than just to bunker down. So yeah, it's definitely picking up again.
Well, thank you. And just moving on to our final question. Anybody looking to move into affiliate and partnerships from a publisher perspective, are there any kind of tips that you would offer to them, advice on how to get started, or how to maybe, I guess, convince stakeholders within the business that affiliate and partnerships is a good revenue stream to add? And if I can go to Tom first, that'd be great.
Advice would be do it. I mean, it's risk-free, right? It's CPA in most cases, like a DPA model. So you're only paying on something like a successful conversion or transaction. And if you do decide to do it, there's certain brands out there that use it as like a set and forget program, and I would definitely not advise that. Like, I think the way you'll get the most out of the channel is through the partnerships with your partners. And every single person in this affiliate space, whether you're a cashback platform or a content platform or anything, it's working with each one in the right way, and not treating everyone as the same, because I think that's how you'll probably get the best bang for your buck.
Well, and over to you, Julia.
Yeah, of course. So on the flip side of that, as a publisher perspective, it may sound obvious, but honestly, my best piece of advice is just learn exactly what your audience loves and go hard after that space. It can be quite easy, I think, as publishers, particularly when you are coming up the back of a year that's been challenging, or you're not sure about revenue, that you'll just accept sort of any partner, any rate, because it's got a high commission attached to it, or a great, CTR offer. But really, at the end of the day, as publishers, and certainly as writers, we should always be crafting content that puts the audience first. And nothing will fail harder for both your readers and also for the brands that you're trying to advertise than if it comes across as uninspiring and inauthentic shopping content. So for instance, one example I can just think of very quickly is beauty is a real performer for us. We have a lot of readers coming to us asking for recommendations. They'll ask us for certain brand reviews. And so we have a responsibility, I would say, to do that authentically and, push the products that we believe in and that we believe will be valuable to our audience. And not, one very top line example could be, we had an offer to do a cellulite or a stretch mark cream, but we're a very body positive publication. We always lead with that first out. That's what our audience comes to us from an editorial perspective for. So we can't then turn around and try and sell an item like that, because it would be hugely hypocritical, and it would not only not make us money, but it would damage the trust that we have with our audience. And that really, at the end of the day, is something that no amount of revenue can help you recover from. So basically, do it authentically, do it, obviously with the understanding that at the end of the day, you are trying to sell products, but sell the products to your audience that you know that they really want and that will improve their lives.
Yeah. And just finally to Immanuel, possibly in a similar thread, but yeah, any tips for anybody
Yeah, definitely what the other speakers have said. Don't be a sellout and be authentic to your brand. And I think for me personally, because I'm a small publisher and most of the content I create is created by me or some people that freelance write for me. But the key thing is to, if I don't believe in it, I probably won't write about it. So, you know, if it doesn't work for me, then it's probably not going to work for my audience who only read my stuff because, you know, once upon a time I connected with them and they were interested in what I was saying. So, you know, for me, it's important to be authentic, and, you know, it's hard to say no to a lot of deals, but you have to, because otherwise, you know, you lose that trust. And the thing as well is, if you're a small publisher and you're starting out, it's much easier to write about something that you're actually passionate about compared to just going after the money. For me, money was never the most important thing about being a blogger. You know, it all happened by accident that this turned into a career. But you know, if you start out writing about something that you're passionate about, or you're creating content about something you're passionate about, then naturally those affiliate partnerships will follow. And like Tom was saying, it's important to partner directly with those brands and see, you know, can you offer some exclusives? Can you do something special for your readers so that they feel like you've been out there looking for a good deal for them as well?
Completely. I could listen to you all day, but that does conclude our panel questions. So thank you so much to our brilliant panelists for sharing their insights and time with us this morning. 2020 has obviously been a roller coaster, and it's really nice to get some publishers' perspectives from within the channel. So I'm going to pass back to Gay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sophie. That was really inspiring. It was great to, I guess, hear some positive stories about the ad market coming back, and I guess opportunities both for advertisers and publishers. So we're going to end on that note. I will remind you all to please fill out the survey. It really does give the whole industry really important information. It also directs our working group on what's important to you next year and what we can interrogate. We've obviously got a big year focusing on growth with the economy, with advertisers, with publishers, but also a lot of changes in identifiers and signals with cookies and IDFA. So those of you who have been on other IAB webinars know that that's going to be a fairly big deal for all parts of the industry, and we'll be, I guess, updating the handbook with that information and updates to the survey. So please do take the survey. We have a break next week, so you do get a week off the IAB webinar. The week afterwards, we'll be running one on auction mechanics, and we'll share that registration detail with you soon. I'll send an email out about next Tuesday with a link to the recording, all the resources, etc., that you can share with friends and families. But thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you've enjoyed the content, and talk to you all soon. Bye.